Hey, welcome back to the video log series for real estate series. And we got with us Massina Hardman, and she's with Real Estate or Rapid Mortgage Company. So Massina, on the buyer side, what are some top 3 frequently asked questions that you guys get in your field?
One of the most asked questions that I get are, what do I need to do to get a pre-approval? And the long answer is you have to fill out an application. So if you meet with one of your buyers and they're interested in getting a pre-approval, if they don't have one yet, we have a couple different ways you can do it. You can either send them our app directly from your phone, or you can call me and say, hey, I have this buyer, can you call them? And that's what happens a lot of times. So I'll call the buyer, introduce myself. I will send them the app. I text it to their phone. It's really easy. They can fill it out. All they're going to fill out is like their name, social security number, date of birth, job history, everything that we would need for the loan other than our part of it. So they're going to put, where they've worked, where they've lived. They're going to upload their W-2s, their pay stubs, all of their legal documents that we are going to request. And there's a line it'll give you whenever they go to fill out the application. It's going to say, okay, upload your ID, your social security card, pay stubs, bank statements, and that's all the information that we need for the pre-approval.
Okay.
So once they submit that application, then it gets sent back to us. I get an alert in my email. Myself or my loan partner will go in, pull credit, look at their job history, look at their income, and we make sure everything matches up. We run it through an automated underwriting system, usually LP or DU, and that will determine whether or not they begin approved eligible on the loan. So that's how we issue the pre-approval, because we run it through underwriting. We check all their documents ahead of time, and we make sure that everything's ready to go, so that you guys can submit an offer in confidence and knowing we've already looked at everything.
Okay.
So it's not going to be a question on whether or not this person, can buy.
Okay. Awesome. Yeah, that definitely makes a difference at the end of the day.
And another one that I get is, how much money can I get for a home? So once we look at their income, we figure out what's called their debt to income ratio. So basically that's the money they have coming in every month versus the amount of money they have going out every month. And that's how we determine. Each loan program will have a different debt to income ratio eligibility. And so that's what we actually use to determine, to match them up with the right loan program. So we look at their credit score versus their debt to income ratio, look at their bank account to see how much money they have to actually put down. And then that's how we help determine the loan type that they're eligible for.
Okay. All right. Awesome.
And the third one would be, can you help me with down payment? So yes, we can help with down payment. There are down payment assistance programs out there that are available. Some of them go up to 5% down. Right now with the rate situation, that's a little rocky. We're having a little bit of a struggle with the down payment assistance programs, but they are out there. And there are a lot of buyers who are eligible for them that don't even realize that they're eligible. So when we pull credit and we look at the income, because there are income and credit guidelines.
Right.
So, we always let the buyer know if they don't have money saved that they would be eligible for that option as well.
Okay. Now, obviously, those credit guidelines change, but, where do most of those credit guidelines fall into score-wise?
They're going to be right around a 660.
Okay.
They're going to need to be at a 660 for, an FHA down payment assistance. Sometimes it's higher for a conventional, because we do have conventional options for down payment assistance as well. So, okay. But they would need to at least start with a 660 score.
Now, and I know when we talked before, you discussed, and we talked about these rate approvals jumping up, and we talked that, you guys, one of the things that sets you guys apart, it seems like, is you guys, when you do your pre-approval, you do for a little bit higher interest rate. Mm-hmm. Ahead of time, just in case there's an increase.
Yes.
And so, do you guys offer a rate lock at all or anything like that?
We do not lock the rate in before we get a contract. And some people do offer, rate locks ahead of time, but a lot of time with those, they're charging points ahead of time. So I would just caution you that if someone is looking to lock their rate for, 3 to 6 months, before ever going into contract, I would just say, double check those loan estimates, look at that, and see how much they're charging in points ahead of time, just to see. And so we don't do that because it's very expensive for the borrower. They're already spending so much money that a lot of times that's just not an option.
All right. So on an FHA, what is the average down payment if you don't qualify for down payment assistance? What is the percentage of the loan?
For an FHA loan, you're going to have 3.5% to put down.
Okay.
And that's just for the down payment. And then you have your escrow, so your first year homeowner's insurance, plus about 3 to 4 months worth of taxes that you're going to need, and then their closing costs. So closing costs are going to vary a little bit with the loan program and the different type of loan, but I would say you're looking between $3,500 and $4,200 for closing costs. Obviously, that can always change, depending on the loan program, but that's going to be your general area somewhere in there.
Okay. And then, as for, obviously, especially with the market, there's a bunch of mortgage companies that popped up or, became, a little bit more advertising. What separates you guys from the rest of the competition?
I feel like we get really involved with our customer. So, they're not just a number to us. When, you get in with larger mortgage companies, the customer calls in, they hardly ever get to speak to the mortgage loan officer. They're speaking to somebody's assistant somewhere along down the line. When you call, first of all, everyone has my cell phone number. So that's the number that I use. We have an office phone, but I don't hardly ever use it. So they're going to call, they're going to text, or they're going to get me directly, or they're going to get my loan partner, Haley. That's it. It's like a two-man show. So it's not going to be like, well, I talked to this person and then they sent me to this person. They're going to be directly working with either myself or Haley.
Right.
And, we're involved with the community. We do a lot of things around here. We do a lot with your guys' team as well. And we just try to make people feel like, that they're people and that this transaction matters. This is the most important thing that they're ever going to do. And it's scary. It's a lot of money, and people get scared. They have a lot of questions, and so we just have to be there with them along the way to make sure that they feel safe and comfortable throughout the process.
Awesome. Well, again, I appreciate you coming out. I appreciate you going over all this. So, and as always, if we have anybody, I'll send them over to you.
Thank you. I appreciate it.